This is a star story for the 1st of December, 2024. So, what do we have here? To start, we've got this new moon, which means the sun and the moon are in the same relative place in the sky. For this reason, we are not able to see the moon because the moon, unless it's an eclipse, which if it was going to be an eclipse, then it would have to be along this axis. This is the intersection axis between the sun and the moon and the earth. That's that plane. So since it's plenty far away, we will not be seeing any of the moon will not be visible. Of course, the moon is still there. But yeah, this sun in Sag, moon in Sag conjunction at 9 degrees 32 minutes is not conjoining anything. 10 degrees is generally, maybe by sign, there's like some stuff going on. Mercury's over 10 degrees though, so I wouldn't call it a conjunction. But for now, let's just talk about these points. What are these points ruled over by? The solar divine force and the feminine divine force. Jupiter. And Jupiter is in Gemini, where it has been for some time. It is a slow-ish moving planet, taking approximately 12 years to move around the zodiacal scheme. So we got plenty of Jupiter in Gemini. Can't say that's my favorite placement for Jupiter. Jupiter, of course, means well, but yeah, currently it is in Gemini, which is the opposite place it would rather be. As we mentioned, it rules Sagittarius and also Pisces by most astrologers. So yeah, it's opposing and squaring the place of its rulership. So it's just maybe Jupiter doesn't have the easiest time doing Jupiter things. So it's like you want to teach, you want to expand, you want to uplift, but like Jupiter doesn't get to do that as much when it's in Mercury signs. What rules over that Jupiter? Mercury, which we mentioned earlier, was in Sag. So what rules over Sag? Jupiter. What rules over Gemini? Mercury. So we're going back and forth, and they are opposing each other, as you can see. So it's almost like the rulers, they're both retrograde on the 1st of December. So they're both sort of like maybe not as interested in like moving things along, but sort of like going back over things, which is a little annoying. If you're wanting to like see things move forward, it's like, well, the planets in charge are both like kind of going backwards, and they're both in the place where they don't want to be. So it's like you don't want to be there, and you're not making progress, but you have to sort of go back over the details. So it's just sort of like all around. Don't we want out of this place? Don't we want to be somewhere else? Don't we want something else? You're saying we not only are we not moving forward, we're staying longer? Like it's not the greatest, but at least the mutual reception means that you can sort of like be like it's not out of the blue. It's not like this hidden thing. It's just like boom. This sucks. So yeah, there's a little bit of suckage that's in the stars that's ruling over it. The sun itself in Sagittarius I think is good because that sun is in a fire sign. It's trining both Leo and Aries, which the sun loves to be. So by extension, I think the sun's very happy. So it's like there's a sense that in the first on the surface there's like a cheeriness, but like below the cheeriness, sort of like dissatisfaction, sort of messy messages, like false teachings a little bit. Like it's like I'm not loving the significations of it. I'm just not. But you know, if you look here, to sort of help the situation, perhaps, there's this trine going from that sun and the moon to this Leo, Mars and Leo. So Mars and Leo just, it's aggressive and it's self-orienting. So it's like doing the thing that you want to do for your own comfort, for your own applause, for your own excellent reception. There's some energy there going that way. So it's fire to fire. So that's nice. That is being opposed by that Pluto. That's just now officially made its way into Aquarius, which means we're leaving the Capricorn period. I personally am like fine with it, because I want a change. Like the way that my life is now, I'm just sort of like not very much enjoying this. Like I'm kind of over this. So bring it on. Like that's kind of how I feel. Bring it the fuck on. So again, another opposition between that Mars that wants to help by sort of like boldly being assertive and aggressive for your own sort of magnificence. Like I'm gonna go for this because I want to. But like below that there is like a deeply sort of like Pluto is very, very below the surface. It's like very subtle. It's like you might not notice it. You might not notice it. That's how subtle I think Pluto is. In fact, without tools and really diving deep, I don't think it's something that's going to be like in your face. Mars is very in your face, so it's like maybe there's something really, really deep in the mind, in the systems, in the societal sort of intellectual structures that is like has something against the way that you're asserting yourself. It's like saying, whoa. Like, yeah, I mean, it's deep. It's a deep sort of opposition. There's also the square happening between Saturn, which is in Pisces. So the sun and the moon are getting this square to the cold, restrictive signifier of death and limits. And yeah, it's just bringing the boundaries and the restrictions to the part of the chart that is Pisces. Again, that's different for everybody's chart. So the story would be slightly different. Again, it's just a story. It's not empirically sound, but like hopefully it brings awareness and makes you think about yourself in, new ways. But that restrictive force, that cold boundary enforcing, limiting killer planet is making an unfortunate aspect to this. So it's like it's like a hard check, a hard boundary. Because again, new moons, it's like a new cycle in the Sagittarian part of your chart. So it's like for me, it's my 4th house area. It's like my family, my lineage, my private self. It's like a new boundary is being met there. A new condition is being faced that is cold and harsh and limiting and restrictive. And I don't know, like with square energy, I often use the words like you're gonna have to find a compromise, because they're not like, I don't think Saturn in Pisces or the Sun Moon conjunction in Sagittarius, I don't think either one of them are like super powered. They're both ruled over by that Jupiter that I mentioned, which is a loosely opposing. You can see it's not exact, but that Jupiter is like loosely opposing the Sun and the Moon. But it's definitely squaring the ruler there. So I don't know. Is it better to have the ruler, like the thing in charge of the boundaries, being like fighting you, but like you can see each other really clearly, or is it better? I mean, it's fighting the other ones and they can't see each other. Like the sun and the moon, they can sort of see Jupiter. I don't know. I think a square is probably easier than an opposition, depending on what it is, it's like, I don't know. Like, full moon people versus, like, square people. So if you, let's say, have the sun in Scorpio and the moon in Taurus, that's a full moon person. If you have the sun in Leo and the moon in Scorpio, that's a square person. When I think about them, there's definitely challenge. With this sort of, these sort of placements. Whereas I'm a sextile person, so I'm just a little more chill, a little more. It's like there's movement, but it's like a subtle movement. It's like a little movement. It's not like aggressive stop. It's like a little helpful exchange is happening. So again, trine people, a lot of helpful exchange. I guess it depends on the nature of the planets, but Saturn in Pisces is neutral. Jupiter in Gemini is in detriment. Oof. I don't know. In a way, there's like a T-square sort of forming between them. It's just like you can sort of see it. It's not perfectly a T-square, but like it's there. Saturn is just gnarly, okay? Saturn is just a gnarly sort of planet. So to me, for this new moon, like, I would say that, like, the story is a tough one. Like, again, and I hate to be this guy who's just saying it's been tough. Yeah, the astrology has just been not my faves of late. It's not been my faves of late. So give yourself a little love, a little cuddles, take breaks, make compromises. Like, I salute you in your journey, you know? What else? Venus is in Capricorn, making a trine to Uranus. Okay, so like a little sudden loving current, a little jolt of, like, you match with someone really nice. Or, I don't know. Venus, connective, Uranus, electricity, jolting, sudden, surprise. It's retrograde Uranus, okay. I don't know. Something popping out that's good in a sort of like earthy, practical kind of way. Is that energy really, like, you can see, like, in order for Venus to like get back to the sun and the moon, which is the focus of this reading, like Pluto is sort of the intersection between these, and it has to go through the opposition. It's this shape has been around for a while. It's nice in a way. Like, it's Again, the three distant most planets are in this helpful configuration. To me, the signature of that has been like under the surface in the most distant subliminal sort of ways. Like, there's this revolutionary energy that's just starting to sort of manifest below the surface. So there's that current that's there. It's coming through the arts, it's coming through our technology. There's this general like desire to shift. So love, sudden loving surprise meets deeply subliminal shift in our ideology. Like, it's, which if you can like integrate with. It might be it might offering like a deep shift in how aggressive you are going for certain aspects of your own like majestic Leo, like it's all about me quality. I mean, it is all about you to a degree. I mean, who are you going to live someone else's life? Like, I don't know. There's a pressure there though. There's an assertion there that might be like a slight something going on with society, a slight shift there that occurs, which can influence very powerfully like this new cycle. Like I'm trying to like be predictive in my own chart. And that's sort of what this is sort of like I'm using it for my own inspiration, and it would be different if I'm doing it for someone else. But since this is my ancestry house and it's gnarly, and I'm reflecting on where I am right now, like I'm currently assisting my grandparents in Oklahoma City at the request of my parents to just sort of be present. To just sort of be present as new health things are faced and integrated with, and new strategies for how to best caretake these individuals manifest. And it's, it's not been that long. A couple weeks. I'm just taking it a day at a time. I'm exercising. I'm eating a little bit more junk food than normal. Watching some movies with grandma. Reflecting. Was gonna do some writing, but it's not really coming forth. But yeah, something along my ancestry house. My private self. And my career and how I'm showing up. I mean, I am still putting out content. A new cycle, a new way of interacting with my ancestors and my like home, it's interesting. I don't know. Neptune's hanging out on my sun right now. I am feeling like I've had some tough conversations with some of my family members over in recent moons. I have. I'm just not gonna take certain shits. I'm just not gonna do it. Yeah. We'll see. I think this pretty much covers it. Is there a message that I want to say specifically? Since it's so general and it affects us all. Venus in Capricorn is neutral. Mercury is in detriment. The Sun and the Moon are neutral. Saturn is neutral. Jupiter's in detriment. Mars is neutral. So there's really nothing that's like, this is like the best, most luxurious. Nothing is like in that position. Mutual reception is mitigating. At least we know what's going wrong. At least we can see that. Still not the greatest. Everything is getting some stuff. I guess it's just at least the sun is like, at least there's some surface level comforts, maybe. Like there's some nice there's some nice opportunities to like get some really bountiful ideas launched. There's a you can shoot a few arrows this new moon. Like you can let some passion out. Like I recently told one of my aunts that I was like disgusted and that I would like rather die than be like them, because I meant it. It's just like honestly, I the short-sightedness and the inability to like face reality is like so there. Not that I blame them, because I get it, life's hard, but like I'm not going to respond in a disgusting way to life, even if it does take my life. I have a royal, regal pride. I'm just not willing to sink to certain levels. And like when I work with addicts and things like that, there's no fear in just being like, let's face this. Let me directly share it, so then you at least have heard it. A lot of people like that don't stay around me because I won't enable them. I won't enable them. I refuse. That's not sharp. That pencil is not sharp. I won't be coloring with it. Okay. Anything else I want to say? The nodes are not aspected. I do not believe. I feel like the node, well, there is a trine going from Chiron to, and I don't think this chart does Chiron aspects, which is fine. Everybody does their astrology different, but anyways, love, light, and the snakes bite, my friends. Wishing you a happy new moon. May this new pattern of optimistic exploration, even in the midst of very deep challenges, prove helpful over time. We are having an impact. Every choice we're making is having an impact on this plane, on this planet. And if each of us remembered that, then all of a sudden, the believed insignificance sort of fades, because we are, as humans, having an impact. So to say that one human doesn't matter is a lie, because the matteringness of us all is cumulative. So, peace out. End now.